Hi, Mwiinga. Welcome to Shimika Conmigo.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for making the time to speak to me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll just get into my first question.
Yeah, go for it.
How how about you tell us who Mwiinga is and what you do? So that people who don't know, who might pretend not to know, could get to know you a little bit.
Okay. I'm an architect assistant, still a student, still waiting to do my part two. So yes, I'm Zambian, so it's just to start there. Yeah, Tonga. I was interested. Yeah, from the south, and I'm a designer and I'm also part-time podcaster. Even though I haven't done it in about a year, we're on hiatus right now. Yeah, but hopefully it's going to start next year in January.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm excited because one of the things that I found interesting about you was, first of all, yes, okay, you're an architect, and then secondly, you have this design sessions podcast. I tried to listen to some episodes, so your response now about it not being up for a year explains why I couldn't find a link because
Yeah, it's not
yeah. So anyway,
yeah, due to COVID, so we couldn't actually pull it off in the way that I wanted.
yeah,
So I just left it next year.
okay,
That's
good.
my excuse anyway for laziness.
No worries. I totally understand. I mean, um, so you said you're studying, which is great. So you do have experience of architecture in Zambia?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you a few things related
Oh,
to that.
not in Zambia particularly, but just in the UK. Not yet in Zambia.
Okay, soon in Zambia.
So definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, you're a Zambian studying in the UK. So I think sometimes I don't know how your studies are, but sometimes you are made to think about what would this work at home? How is this at home? You're forced
Definitely.
to make
Yeah.
those comparisons so that your perspective is still relevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get into my first question. Right? Is architecture and design work something that you've always wanted to do, or do you really consider yourself more of a creative person? Because I really find it curious that you are mixing, you have your architecture and your design studies, but then also you're doing your podcast, so how would
Yeah.
you classify
I,
yourself?
yeah, start off with yes for a long time. That's what I've always wanted to do. But prior,
Just speak up a little bit, please.
yeah, I've always wanted to do architecture. But prior to that, I wanted to be a policeman. I believe. I think, yeah, because I
Oh,
used to watch. I'm a big fan of Dirty Harry films. Clint Eastwood. Yeah,
yeah.
so basically, I thought that was the coolest thing. And also before that, I wanted to be part of the A-teams. But yeah, so those two like versions, and then the third one was architect. Which I'm stuck with.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
very interesting. I mean, very, like police work, detective work, and then
yeah,
we settled on architecture.
yeah,
Oh, when you decided to take on a career in architecture,
yeah,
um, did your parents and family support your decision? What was
yeah,
that?
yeah. They supported me, and they still are. And yeah, there's no resistance or anything, or any type of other suggestions, because that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I'm doing. So it was like a no-brainer. So
Okay, great. Um, that's really interesting because other people that I've spoken to, I mean, they're not doing architecture. They're doing, for example, uh, photography or
yeah,
filmmaking, and their parents were like, "What you want to do? What?" So it's curious.
yeah. I've heard those stories from friends, which is
Yeah.
like,
Um, yeah. So you're studying in the UK, right?
yes.
What's that like for you? Why or how did you settle on studying in the UK? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. My father, who's a radiographer, senior radiographer. He was educated here. He used to live here a long time. That was before I was born, before me and my sisters were born.
Mm-hmm.
So he was kind of living back and forth. And then later on, I think we came here like early 2000s. So because he had a job, so he just decided it's better he's here because he retired in Zambia, and so he settled here. So yeah, that's how we came to be here.
Okay. So it's like on advice from your father, as well as sort of like inspiration, geographer. Yeah. There's some things that are similar. I have friends who are or who have done a little bit of geography and who have elements of geography in their studies. So okay, this is interesting. And are you at a university, or where are you studying? If you can tell me.
Currently, I'm at the University of Brighton. I used to be at South London, Brighton now.
Okay. So why
in the southeast?
Yeah, but why? Why there? Why did you pick that university?
Two reasons. One, it's closer to where I am than where I was before.
Okay.
And it's also a good university. It's one of the best universities.
Okay, good.
Yeah, design universities. Yeah, I highly recommend it if anyone is planning on doing architecture. Brighton is good.
Okay, so for architecture and design, you would recommend where you're studying. Okay, so some free advertising for them. They should pay you and for doing advertising for them.
I'll get this clip and show it to them.
Yes, you do that. I'm really grateful that, because I've spoken to different people, different professions, and we're doing, 1,000 Awesome Zambians. So it's good.
Okay, cool. That's very cool.
Yes, and thank you. And we're trying to offer a perspective to young people who might listen, who might come across these videos, that there are a wide range of things you can aspire to study for. So again, thank you for making the time. So I have to ask you, okay, we talked about architecture, design, where you're studying, and you said you're on a break, but could we talk briefly about your podcast? What inspired you to start your podcast?
Well, I think the main reason because I listen to a lot of podcasts more than I watch TV or movies. Even though I'm a big cinema fan, but I tend to listen to podcasts, especially American ones, because when I'm doing some work like drawings, it's just in the background noise. So I thought, there are some podcasts out there about architecture and design, but there's always something that I think is missing. Something is missing there, which I think I can add or try to add. So that has always been my thing. So that's why I was inspired by podcasts in America, mostly.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
You make me so happy, because that's also, you're sort of like backing up why I'm doing these interviews, because I found there are stories on Zambia, but there are never stories that please me or make me happy or make me proud as a Zambian. Like they're always in a negative light with a hidden agenda. XYZ corporation wants to paint a sort of image of Zambia that you and me on the street are like, why are they?
That's a bit foreign, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm so happy that you're a Zambian. You do podcasts focusing on, what you are interested in, your studies, your profession. So keep doing it. I can't wait for your January episodes to come to life. Okay? Yeah. So in line with that, the podcasting, architecture, design, what are you most passionate about of those three things?
I think it might be design and architecture, because basically they're easily creative and I'm more familiar with them. Because prior to that, I used to host do another podcast that was culture based, like in rap and hip hop.
Oh.
And I had loads of fun with that. But my co-host left; he graduated and left, and he went back to his home in Ireland. Okay. But yeah, so dealing with that, there was a lot of, because I was producing it, and there was a lot of like editing, which was quite time consuming. and we're doing it on the radio station, so we couldn't really swear that much. Or we had to edit certain things, I would say.
Okay.
They used to be draining, which is the downside of it, which is I would rather choose architecture.
Okay. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you've mentioned some of what is always in the background about creating content, because people just see the 2-minute or 4-minute or the 40-minute or hear the 40-minute audio. They don't think about what's in the back. So thanks
the editing is bad.
yeah. Woo! I know. So thank you for that. And it's curious you did a cultural one and you were on radio. Like this has always been my dream to be on radio somewhere. But I guess I'm making my own content.
Trust me. At the moment right now, podcast is the way.
Yeah.
The radio station.
Could you repeat that? You just went in and out. Sorry.
Okay. Podcasting is the way right now, because radio stations and around the world, especially in America, radio companies are buying off podcasts and putting them on their radio stations because it's easier. Just the way things are. So yeah, you're doing right. Trust me, you'll be on the radio soon.
Boom! 2021. May the gods hear you. Awesome. Thanks a lot. So I will ask you my next question. Do you think that your profession, architecture, design, that it gets the respect that it really deserves? Like, okay, you're studying in the UK, but do you think that you will be able to go to Zambia with your degree and get the respect, the cred, the employment, the work that you need to get?
Yes, and that doesn't get the respect it deserves. I believe, because if you look at some of the structures, like the buildings that we build in Zambia, if you can design. What I found is some people if you can draw like a plan of a house and then build it, there's no like legal guide to show like this has to be done by an architect. These drawings have to be done by an architect. The word architect is not really protected that much. So if you can draw, you can basically call yourself an architect or a draftsman or anything like that, which is criminal. Because if you had to flip that to a doctor to medical, if you can administer medicine, you just can't call yourself a doctor, you know what I mean? Yeah. And this structure, if it goes wrong, it will collapse and someone will die.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's respected that much in that aspect. But I hope it will change.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that downside. I never thought about it,
Yeah.
When you think about like an area that I've been to recently a lot in the last couple of years is Kabanana. So when you just drive into Kabanana, just off Great North Road, you can already see that the structures off the main road are just made haphazardly and anyhow, so you're right, because if the authorities did respect the opinion of architects, then, there would be more of a structure. I absolutely agree. Yeah. You want to add something?
Yeah. At the moment in Zambia, I'm not yet a member, but we have the Zambian Institute of Architects, the IA. And I had an interview with some of the former presidents. They have brought up certain issues, but I don't think the organization itself is doing much to sort of protect the name, because it should be protected in every other country or any other region. Like here, if you call yourself an architect and you're not an architect, you get fined, you do prison time.
Oh, wow.
Someone got fined recently, I think I was in April, someone got fined £100,000 for calling themselves an architect.
Oh my word.
That's jail time, yeah, because that's fraud and could potentially, as I mentioned earlier, you build something that may kill someone.
No, now we have the rainy season, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if people paid attention to advice or opinions of architects, sorry, then there wouldn't be the issues that we have. For example, the structural problems with buildings, etc. So you are
especially in the shanty compounds and all that sort of rural areas as well. Rural areas, it's a bit of a challenge, but yeah, they should set a standard. We should set a standard, because it's getting to that place where criminality is being promoted and just being left aside.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame, because it's sort of, to sort of go back to what you're saying, it taints the name of the profession. They wouldn't be so laissez-faire with doctors,
No.
medical professionals. So why wouldn't they be more strict, or more, have more of pay more attention to what's going on in your profession? It breaks my heart a bit.
Yeah, I don't think we're competitive even, to be honest, when the government makes policies in terms of land.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy that you brought up those issues.